The 997 GT3 RS has become one of the most sought after and valuable modern Porsches.
Oh my God. Oh my God. He on X Games mode.
The only reason why I was able to afford this one is because it's modified. More mods equal more cheap. In the collector car world, it actually does. This car was built back in 2012, and then I added some more parts to it a couple of years ago, but this car has over $100,000 in aftermarket parts. And I know that makes almost no sense considering it has stock wheels. But unlike fine wine, modifications do not age well, and I am starting to have some problems. This is an episode that I've been working on for months because I've been trying to hunt down what's been wrong with this car and getting it to work properly, and it's still not sorted. So let me take you through some of the stuff I've done to get this car to where it is now. And then we're gonna come back to modern day and continue to fix this thing so we get it back on the road and continue using it. And also, sometimes you need a little bit of more peer pressure. FCP Euro is going to have this car in their booth at Luft's Air to Water event in Costa Mesa in April. So if you want to come see this car in person, come through, check it out. And honestly, it's been too long because it's my favorite car ever. So the problem we've been having with the 3RS has been something that I have not been able to figure out. But now that we got these bend packs installed at the shop, I figured I could get under here and start really poking around. I'm gonna go through and check all the suspension points because it's got GMG arms from when this car was built back in 2012, and maybe a Heim joint or something is loose. Porsches have a really interesting driving characteristic. When the rear end starts to feel loose in a turn, when you're not overpowering the rear end grip, it's super, super sketchy feeling. So there's a variety of different things that it could be. Let's dig into it. I can't see any problems. So I think we're gonna take it down to BBI and have them give it a look. But you know what's better than chasing down problems is putting on mods. I've had 10 different exhaust setups on the GT3 RS. These cars always sound good, but it's really hard to get the sound perfect because NA cars that produce a lot of power produce a lot of sound. I've been really chasing like a perfect exhaust setup. I've ran everything from stock to center muffler deletes, side muffler deletes, and tons of aftermarket setups. They all sound good, but I'm really particular, so I'm just looking for a specific sound. I want to try out something new. This is the Inconel setup from Kline. If you remember, I put this on the 360 and I absolutely love the way the 360 sounds. It's my favorite part about that car. So I figured I'd try it out for the 3RS. And what we got here is their full Inconel setup. I want the car to be really loud and really visceral. With 200 cell cats, it might be a little too tame for me, but they also offered up a set of these absolutely gorgeous long tube headers. This is the easiest job ever. Also, we gotta give a big thanks to Viper Chair because they sent over a couple of these chairs. They absolutely rule for doing stuff like this. All right. So at first glance, I know that these look very similar, but it's got two main differences with the Dundon setup. First up, this is made out of stainless steel. The Kline stuff is made out of Inconel, which will provide a different tone because of the material wall thickness. Also, when I got the Dundon stuff, I wanted to maximize top end power. So I actually got a 3-inch inlet muffler. No other aftermarket mufflers are 3-inch, they're all 2.5. So I'm only able to run Dundon mufflers on the car. This is a loud muffler, they make a quiet, and then they have like a muffler delete. The Kline setup is made out of Inconel, so it should have that little bit higher pitch, more exotic sound. It also utilizes the factory valve system, factory format, side muffler deletes, and center muffler. I'll be able to run a quieter setup with the valves closed and a more straight through setup with the valves open. I was done anyways. I was already done talking. Literally the easiest exhaust swap ever. I can still hear it. But because I gotta bring this car to Lufthansa Air to Water, it's gonna be in FCP Euro's booth. So I ordered a bunch of maintenance parts for them. They are the one-stop shop for maintenance and mods. They're the homies. They help me a ton with a lot of my builds, including my Mark II VR6 high school dream build. They offer pretty much everything you need and a lifetime guarantee on all parts, even consumables. And they have a great YouTube channel with tons of DIYs teaching you everything you need to know for cars that you might have. So this is valves open, valves closed. It's crazy how quiet this car could be with just those two little mufflers with the valves closed. That's like stop. All right, well, that's all well and good, but we got a little bit of maintenance done. We got the mod, that was important. We're gonna go run down to BBI, see what the hell's going on with this thing. I went down to BBI Autosport where Batim and the boys put the car up on the rack, inspected all the suspension, and determined that the limited slip differential was weak. This car was built back in 2012 from GMG and claimed to have an OS Giken limited slip differential, but who knows if it's ever been serviced or if it was even in there. So Bobby and the BBI boys pulled the differential out, and to my surprise, there was in fact an OS Giken limited slip. This is great news because I actually know Sean from OS. They're local and they do rebuild services right in-house. So I took a trip down there where Sean rebuilt the differential. Inside, we didn't see any major components worn, but we still restacked all the clutches, put new shims in, and I brought it back to BBI where we installed it. So we got the diff back in the car, but unfortunately, that was not the issue. The symptoms still persisted. So next on the list of things that are old, worn, and probably need to be replaced, suspension. So we're taking a trip out to Murrieta, California to dive into a whole new refresh. Rather than rebuilding some 15-year-old shocks, I figured I'd come out here to Nitron headquarters in Temecula, California and set up this car. I have the Nitron R3s on the 360 and I've been loving that setup. So I figured they'd be awesome on the RS and also they'll help me set them up. So let's go. You guys have met Guy before when we did my 360 and also when we got to take your C8 out on track on the 360 episode. Guy here is what I aspire to be. He is an elderly racer that dailies a race car C8. He's had plenty of really sick club sport cars and has built this amazing brand Nitron, so I trust him. What do we set the car up with today?
We're thinking about a car that is a dual purpose car. Daily drive, if you want it to do, it's got to do canyons, it's got to go up into the mountains, do your morning coffee runs, and you've got to be able to take it on track.
Yeah.
Making minimal adjustments.
I definitely do more mountain driving and street driving than I do track work, but I still want the car to be set up like a track car, but like not as harsh.
So we're going to do that with damping rather than springing. So there are different types of suspension kits. We can use the damping to effectively stop energy going into that car, so you don't need to resist it with hard springs, you can resist it with hard damping, which is adjustable.
Guy could literally say anything to me and I trust him because he sounds so smart.
So we're giving you a compromise kit. It's never going to be the fastest race car. It's never going to be the most comfortable road car.
It's okay. With how much these things have become worth nowadays, when I take it to the track, I'm like gentlemanly because I can't risk wadding this thing up. Can we check out this kit?
Yeah, let's have a look.
The RS was originally equipped with front axle lift, but had since been removed when they transferred the old suspension on it. And also 997 axle lift kind of sucked, so people would often get rid of it because it would get stuck up. So we're going to be putting front axle lift back in the car with Nitron's kit, which I have in the 360, which has been a lifesaver.
And it's working.
Yeah.
Great.
And what else do we have?
So we've got the rear shocks and the front shocks. On the front shocks, we've got the front axle lift cylinders. So these are the cylinders that will expand. So when the car's sitting on these springs, they'll compress to the natural weight and height that they'll go to. When this cylinder opens, it's just going to push that spring up. It's going to lift the front of the car up. That's the pump that pumps these cylinders through this pipe. We've got a control unit.
This is a great setup too, because as you saw when we did the 360, it's literally like put the brain in there, plug it in, run a power, a ground, and a switch, and it's on. So it's super simple.
Yeah. So on these front struts, they clearly need a top plate. So these are our new design top plates. We're making them thicker, they're more robust, fully machined out.
These are nice, and it's really cool too, because in a lot of setups with 997, you actually don't have camber adjustment up top. You do it all from the arms on the bottom.
The coffin arms,
So this is actually a lot more precise. precise.
And it's quick. It's quick and
Yeah.
easy to do. This kit is the R3 kit, which has got the rebound adjuster at the top, and then it's got the 2 compression adjusters here. As is standard with the Nitron fittings, you've got all your swivel axes. So you've got the bi-swivel there. And then you've got the dry brake fittings here. Dry brakes are an absolute must on the front of these cars because you can't pass that down through the knuckle.
Yeah.
You've got to take it off, fit the strut, reconnect the cylinder.
Oh,
so you
cool.
have to have those on the front, but we also put them on the rear because we can.
Also, not having any adjustments on the bottom is so nice because, as all you guys know who have been at the track and need to change your damper settings and you're laying on roasting hot blacktop with trying to look under and count clicks, having it up top is so
Accidentally
nice.
touch the brakes.
Yeah. Cool.
And that's the whole kit.
All right. All right, so normally when I get started putting a coilover system in, I just start. You guys had a pen and paper out, so what do we do?
So what we're doing here is we're recording all the settings that the car comes in with, and we're recording effectively the ride height and the droops. What that means is we measure how far the car is off the ground because that's how it was set.
Easy one.
The next thing is when we lift the car up, the wheels will hang down into what we call a droop scenario. We measure that distance as well.
Can you explain why that's important? Because I think a lot of us out there look at ride height and never really consider what the droop is.
Okay, so when we think about droop, we think about wheels hanging down out of the arches. Now they do that now, so they're hanging down out of the arches now. But when they're on the track and on the road, the wheels will come down to keep contact with the ground at all times. When you're lifting a wheel because you haven't got enough droop, you're limiting the grip on that axle.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we want to make sure we've always got enough droop in the car.
So is there too much droop ever?
You can have too much droop. We usually have too little droop. That's the
Right,
problem.
yeah.
So
I mean, I've been in the situation where you jack up your car and you're like one pump and the car still looks slammed with the wheels off the ground.
So if you pump it and the wheels keep coming down, you run the risk of the springs dislocating. That's the danger of too much
Okay,
droop.
cool. Install is about as straightforward as it gets. First step was to remove the old dampers. These are over 10 years old and they are showing signs of age. They've got shock fluid on the bottom of the bodies showing that these were already leaking. Once we got the old shocks removed, it's time to put the Nitron R3 dampers in. This was about as straightforward as it gets. They're a direct bolt-in shock, so all we have to do is dial in the ride height and then we can start working on the front axle lift. So if you're wondering why we zip tied these beautiful canisters to the roll bar, it's because the reservoir mounts are actually for 1.75" roll bar tubing, but this is 1.5". Guy and the team are actually gonna make a set for 1.5" roll bar and then I'll just swap them out at home. We waited till end of day to do what I thought was gonna be a really simple job, but because the axle lift was removed from this car, they also removed the bracket we need. So I'm gonna find the original pump bracket and then I'll do this at a later date. So we're just gonna move on to corner weighting this car and getting it dialed because I could live without axle lift for a couple more days. This. Cars, fun. What do you got here? This looks like it costs more than cars.
So these are a hub mount geometry system. So we bolt these to your hubs directly. No wheels on the car. These fit on the hubs, which you'll see in a moment.
Will that work for center lock too?
Absolutely. Center lock goes in here, and if you don't have a center lock, you'll use one of these.
Damn, this is a nice little wheel stand.
Interchangeable. So because this is particularly for your center lock, because some Porsches have got different center locks, this is for the GT3 type road cars. Goes straight on, uses your nut, centers it up on the hub. Then we'll attach a camera system to this peg here. Cameras will look around the car and then we'll know what the car's doing.
Easy.
Easy.
This is just something that you wanted. This looks like something that gets you excited.
I'll admit that I did really want this. Even if it's just for your car, I just wanted to have this kit. This is Porsche factory race kit. So this is what
That's so sick.
It's got rollers on the feet. So once it's bolted onto the car.
Wow, that's nice. That's a feature I didn't know, and it's... Oh.
So we'll see. So when it's sitting on the ground, this is what's going to happen. Okay. We'll sit it on the ground. It'll roll around, and it'll take whatever camber it wants to.
All right, right, made it back to the shop. This is the piece that stopped us from finishing the car. It's just a little center bracket that mounts the front axle lift pump that most people just throw out. Ron's here, wrenching on the Delta.
Forever.
Doing some nonsense. I'm gonna get to work on this and get it all finished. So this right here is the Nitron front axle lift system. The cups are already installed on the car, but how it works is basically we've got a pump here that's gonna mount on the factory front axle lift pump in the transmission tunnel. We've got the brain or the ECU with the wiring harness right here. And then we have some lines that we have to run to the shocks. So basically the way it works is this pump is filled with hydraulic fluid. It pumps fluid through these lines all the way into each shock on the car, and that fills up a cup. The brain here has a key fob that makes it so we don't actually have to wire up the switch in the car. So we just run this up and run the plug to that. And it works. Much like the 360, the front axle lift adds about 50 millimeters of upward movement on the shock, which will be super good for getting in and out of driveways, especially my home driveway, because my front lip has been getting absolutely smoked on my driveway. So that'll be a really nice feature. I'm stoked to have it back in. And it works with a little key fob or a button under the dash, which is pretty sick. Now that the car is driving good and we got most of the issues done, there's still one little one left that we'll get to in a bit. I needed to do something I've been wanting to do since I purchased the car, and that's change the outside of it a bit. I got a bunch of exterior parts, but one major thing that I think you guys will like, I'm not sure, is changing the whole graphics package on it. And then I got some new wheels and a bunch of other new stuff, and we'll finally get this thing looking the way I've always wanted it to look. So let's keep going. We came back here to Advanced Protective Films to see my boy Alex to do the most old man boring mod, but it's absolutely essential to cars of this caliber. We're doing some PPF because I want to change up the look of this car, but it has to happen on top of the PPF. We're gonna PPF the doors and the quarter panels, and then we're gonna start applying a new livery to the car. Let's go see what Alex is doing, and then I'm gonna get started peeling. What up, dude?
What's up? How's it going? Yeah, how's everything? What's up, guys?
We're in literal good hands.
Great fun. So I'm grabbing the template on your car. The film is basically the shape of your quarter panels and your doors. That way, when I lay the film down, I have complete coverage all around your panels, all the way to the edge.
Nice. So what we're gonna be using here is the Stek Dyno film. And this is the same stuff that we put on Jolly's car, except the difference is his Stek PPF is purple and mine's clear. The Stek film will give us a lot more paint protection from scratches, UV, all that stuff. So I could be a little less worried about driving this car as much as I do. All right, while the car's over at Alex's, we're gonna go pick up some new wheels because no exterior transformation is complete without. I just realized every single wheel here has 8009s on it. Got some new tires. That's gonna load up in the wagon, and then we're gonna go ahead and pick up a new set of wheels. This is where having a wagon is great. Instead of driving my gas guzzling truck, just fit everything in the daily, baby. I mean, seriously, what's a better daily than this? Took a quick trip down to San Diego to pick up my wheels. HRE is actually fairly local to us, so we figured why not come down, take a look at their shop. And of course I come here and Gabe is already stunting on me on the F80.
Okay, but he got 20s and fitted.
Dude, yeah.
Look at that.
It was crazy. I didn't think 20s would work on an F80, but this works. Speaking of, sorry, we're just admiring your F80. When you see the guy who helped you build them has like a perfect setup on his car, you feel good. So what's up?
How you doing?
Pretty good. Could you tell us about your M3 real quick?
So original owner, I bought it in 2014. I ordered this car with pretty much no options. Cloth interior, Alpine white, really poverty spec, but through 10 years, I probably invested an entire other M3 into this.
What F80 is poverty spec?
No options.
No options.
know?
6-speed, no competition package, no packages of any kind. Just basically
BMW mentality. Look at this. Poverty spec. It's got carbon fiber roof.
got 145,000 miles on it now.
Wow, you're living the dream. Original owner M3 with 145K.
It's the most expensive dream anyone's ever had, including an M3. Between all the maintenance and all the mods and 35 different front lips, 3 front bumpers, 6 exhaust setups, 25 plus wheels, 4 steering wheels. It all just, I'm gonna cry. So welcome to HRE Wheels. We are located in Vista, California, just north of San Diego. This is our showroom. This is where we keep a lot of our current models, usually a show car to kind of show off one of the options. We have our finish wall here where you can see pretty much every finish that we have. Kind of the best way to visualize how our finishes are actually gonna look together.
Which is so hard because on camera, like these and these are so similar.
Yeah, it's
But in
hard to tell
person, they're like
Yeah.
very starkly different.
I strongly suggest anyone that's close to us and you're gonna spend a good amount on wheels and you're gonna have that kind of experience, come on down, look at them in real person when you're gonna be here with the wheels themselves.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be happy with my decision.
I think you're gonna be pretty stoked. Your wheels are actually being done now and you're gonna get to see them get assembled.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is our main factory where everything happens. Every single forged HRE wheel comes out of this facility. There's a combination of 30 plus CNC mills working on wheels 24/7. This place can run lights out, so they all just get loaded up with forgings and they get run through the night, and then the next morning our machinists come in the morning, pull them from their stations, and then get cracking on a whole new other batch of wheels. Everything gets done in-house, from powder coating to polishing, computer testing to engineering to all the design and marketing stuff. Everything gets done here in these walls.
Damn, that's sick. Fully made in San Diego.
Absolutely.
That's tight.
Total control
I love
over our
that.
product, and it's kind of the best way to go about things.
Yeah, and the one big reason why I wanted to do HREs is because center lock sucks. You can't run spacers. You have to absolutely nail your fitment. And there's not a lot of wheels out on the market that have the specs that I want. I want an aggressive, meaty, flush look, and a lot of the wheels on the market are like not there. Going full custom was my only route, and I wanted to do something really classic, really cool. And since it's a GT3 RS, it needs to be like the highest quality wheel, so.
You gotta fully send it.
Yeah.
You really have to.
They're still not on. It's a really dumb reason, but I don't really love the car like this, with the red bits but no graphics. I don't know, something about it, it just doesn't really hit for me. So I didn't want to put the wheels on and have the car in a configuration where I didn't really like it. Before we get started, I did a couple of things off camera. And the first one is sort of Porsche sacrilege, but painted my calipers. We went from yellow to red, and for everyone who's not a Porsche person out there, yellow indicates that your car has ceramic composite brakes, which is pretty baller, so no one wants to change them from yellow to red. But honestly, I never really liked the yellow calipers on this car. I just thought they were kind of cool. I also stopped by my homie Rodney's place, Evo Studios. They specialize in wraps, so we did the front bumper grille in black, which will make a lot more sense with all the new bits and the new livery that I have right in here. And in this box, we have the brand new livery for the car. But I'm not gonna start installing that yet because it's kind of late at night and I wanna do some of the easier bits. We got a whole lot of carbon fiber. This is a whole bunch of parts from Rennline. I've been working with them since I built my 400,000 mile 911 SC. And they make a ton of parts for the air-cooled cars, but they recently got into water-cooled. And even more importantly here, they got into carbon fiber. I went on their website to buy one of these, cup holder. The GT3 RS is so lightweight that it was optioned with no cup holder, which sucks, especially for a car that specializes in being the king of cars and coffee. And notice that they make a ton of carbon fiber. Most importantly, carbon fiber mirrors, which is really what I wanted, but they're so tremendously expensive from Porsche because they were only optioned on a select few cars like the GT2 RS. Naturally, I had to get those. And we've got the front lip, and even a cool little roof wing that they make. This is super nerd stuff, but I got RS 4.0 winglets for the back of the wing. They're slightly bigger, they have a little bit of a curvature, and again, Evo Studios wrapped the backside red, and the front side matte black, which is all gonna tie together really subtly with the new livery tying into the roll cage and stuff. And these are actually two-piece. There's an upper and a lower. I'm gonna leave the lower as red because that's how the RS 4.0 came, and I always thought it was kind of a cool little subtle touch. It'll match the brake calipers, the roll cage, the stitching on the inside. I think it's kind of like a nice little bit. Please don't break, please don't break. Thank God. All we got is a couple torque screws in here to pull this mirror base off, and then we'll swap those on. And as you can see, these are actually full carbon fiber mirror covers and not just like vinyl wraps or overlays, which I think is pretty cool. We're gonna pair these up with the OEM uppers. So their kit comes with the upper and lower mirror, but I sort of want to run it like this because I think it looks cool. So let's throw it back on. I'm debating putting the carbon lower one on it, but I kind of like it like this. I'm not sure. Let me know what you guys think. I might switch it up and just do the full carbon. We'll see. Next up, pop these winglets on the front lip and the roof wing, and then we'll do the livery tomorrow because I have pretty much no patience and I'll probably screw that up. Now that I have these higher wing risers on the car, I do feel like the OEM winglets are a bit tiny. I already like it so much better. Look at this. Front bumper, lipstick deleted, carbon mirrors, and the RS 4.0 winglets. This looks so cool. And I did them red on the inside just to give it a little pop of color on the other side, but like one of those little stupid OEM plus detail mods that most people wouldn't get. It does actually make a pretty substantial difference. This winglet versus this one, like this guy's so little compared to that. And now with the wing being slightly higher, I think it really pulls it all together. That better be perfect. Looks super cool. Shoo! One-handed install, folks. Boom. Look at that. And it's adjustable for any type of coffee situation. Look at this. Big gulp, tight on the bolster, ready to rock. So much better than spending like $6,000 on a carbon fiber cup holder here, but instead get a nice cup holder delete, and it reminds people you know where you're at. Super satisfying mods. Next up, we're gonna head to the shop. We're gonna put the new wheels on and also the livery. All right, so one of the reasons why we went to HRE over other brands is not only are they like a really quality wheel company that's made right here in Southern California, but honestly, it was all about the specs. Center locks, you cannot run spacers, so you really have to nail the specs right off the bat. But the problem is, with these cars, a lot of the wheels on the market come in really soft offsets. So this is a 19 by 9.5 plus 40, which is 12.5 millimeters more aggressive than most aftermarket wheels on the market that come in 9 plus 50. All that means is making the wheel sit further towards the fender, a bit more aggressive, so we were able to dial in the specs exactly how we want them.
But you haven't seen the last.
You guys ready for some story time? So I've been chasing down this issue for a long time. Center locks suck, and they're super complicated. I had an issue where my wheels were clicking. I come to determine that it was because the center lock nuts were over-greased and sort of worn out. I made an entire video on my Instagram about rebuilding center lock nuts. That's right, rebuilding lug nuts. Basically, what happens is they get way too saturated in grease and then they don't fully sit. So after rebuilding them, I got the noise to go away, but it started to come back. So I finally gave in. I went to FCP Euro and got brand new center lock nuts that I could put on these wheels because these ones look pretty worn out. The car has a lot of track time. I've taken the wheels off like a million times. Not only did I not want to put these crusty ones on these brand new wheels, but also I figured this will finally fix my issue. And look how much nicer this looks than that one. And if you want to see the most complicated lug nut design, here it is. 6 pieces to a lug nut. You've got the nut itself, a thrust washer, the seating cone, My favorite part of doing center lock stuff is this grease that gets literally everywhere. The best part about it is there's no actual amount that you're supposed to run. It's like how grandma makes sauce, you know? Not too much, not too little, you know? Jamie over at Dundon has been working with Michael at High Torque to actually develop a shorter reaction arm with a thinner Delrin stick. So it actually works with multi-piece wheels, because the original arm that came with this only worked on like the factory 19s and bigger. And it was a big reason why I got rid of my old BBSs, because once you own this tool, you're never going back to doing the sequence with a breaker bar. But they finally got this thing sorted, so now I could use my gun on all multi-piece wheels, which is great. This car's changing me. Not only am I not dying to sell it, but I even bought these little cute brand new caps because mine were all crusted up. Oh my gosh.
That's sick.
That's so nice.
Oh yeah. God, the rear is much.
Ooh. Yeah, this is perfect. The front's good too. The front's right where I want it. Oh yeah. Dang, that's right on the money, baby. And in this package, we have the full new livery for the GT3 RS. Could you believe it? A factory livery in a different color. I mean, come on, folks. Did you really think I was gonna do like a custom livery on this car? This isn't the car to do a custom livery on. We're doing the OEM stuff, but we're changing up the color because I wanted to get rid of all the red and try something a little bit different. This should be a fairly straightforward install. These are from KI Studios in San Diego. Exact replica of the OEM ones, but for a hell of a lot cheaper. It's actually the ones I was running in red, so I know they fit and I know that they look proper like OEM sizing, so let's put it on. For all y'all that didn't grow up on forums, I feel bad because forums have stuff. Look at this. Someone did all this. Every single spec to put the stickers on exactly like factory. Forum people, sick. Too bad Photo Bucket didn't like ruin that. Yo, honestly, I'm pretty stoked. I've wanted to run this setup for a really long time. Oh, we can't hit him. We can't do him like that. We gotta go get this thing out, hit some proper beauties. Man, I am pretty hyped on this car. I know it sort of sucks for YouTube. I've only made a couple episodes with the GT3 RS and none of them really perform that well. And as a YouTuber, as my full-time job, I should only have cars that do well for YouTube, but this is my absolute dream car. Like, it's the car I've always wanted, never thought I'd be able to afford, never thought I'd be able to own, and now I have it. And to be able to like modify it and drive it and enjoy it is like honestly unbelievable. I'm super pumped on it. All the mechanical stuff is dialed now. The new dampers, front axle lift, the diff, the new livery, like I just love the way this thing looks. The red is one of those things that I love for everyone else and I love for the car, but driving it on the street, I sort of love this new understated look. Ah, so cool. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks to everyone who's been watching. If you want to come out and hang out with me, the FCP guys, see this car, come out to Sunday Motoring Meet. It's Sunday, April 27th, out here in SoCal. Link is in the description, but thanks to everyone for watching. As a reminder, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We make videos every Thursday, but for now, I'm literally just gonna go sit in the grass and look at my GT3 RS because it's so cool.